For the moat lesson, what really stood out to me is if your competitive advantage can be eroded by technology, by software automation, your moat's getting smaller. You're in danger, and you need to understand where you need to pivot in order to keep your moat.
Hmm.
I will also say if your moat is around relationships, trust, helping people make better decisions, having judgment about what the data is telling us, your moat actually might be getting stronger because now you can do more with the technology that we have these days. So it doesn't necessarily eliminate expertise, it raises the value of judgment.
Yeah, and I do think it not only raises the value of judgment, but it also allows you to use your specialized intelligence in ways that you didn't think were possible, especially for like other areas of general intelligence that you're like, well, I don't have the time to learn that. And it's like, well, what if what if I wasn't classically trained to be able to play like Spanish guitar? Like, I did that at one point in time because I thought it was fun. But like, you know, now you can go and be creative with it and be like, well, what is, M&A? I can ask crazy questions now and actually find things that I would have never found. So I can say, well, what does buying a business, exiting, and M&A have to do with Spanish guitar? And like me playing, I can ask those questions now. These are questions that you can ask. And I think people need to realize that there's not just one path. You can take a lot of different paths to be able to be creative because AI is literally just taking your words, measuring it against the structure and math that's behind it, and saying, okay, this is the field of view that we have. These are the different things that we can go ahead and pull, and we can go ahead and blend these things together. So I have ways creatively that I can go and blend two, three, four different things. But that said, data sovereignty, which is what we're talking about, and data security for that sovereignty is going to become, I would say, probably the flagship issue. Those two main things combined as one. The flagship issue in 2027. That's really where I'm seeing. Now, I've also said in a prior show, I also mentioned about like the orchestration of these different models and actually the use of specialized intelligence. And this is an expanded piece on the thing that I had mentioned before. And when I say one large thing, I think of it as many subsections that I just don't have the time for. I consider this a subsection of orchestrated intelligence and how you're actually using that. But security is going to be one of those big issues, most certainly. And then on that same note, for those that don't know, we also do have an offline way to be able to take your business and be able to use very strong AI for your own business. So if this is something that is interesting for you that you do want to have and say, hey, I don't want someone else to have my data. And I also know that the cost of this information is going to 10x here in the next 2 years. If you're not aware of it, they're already talking about it. And you can already see the cost of the models creeping upwards as well as they're releasing new ones because now they can justify, well, it's an old model and we don't want it, we don't want you to have access to the old models. You only want the new ones and we're going to charge more for that. Well, and that's their current positioning to be able to get more revenue. Well, that may not align with what the information you have or how you built your infrastructure, so that can really throw a wrench in the actual intelligence that you're using in your business too. So rising costs, issues with actual like use of your data, security of your data, and who has my data. And the fact is that, and even ChatGPT, OpenAI is talking about advertising and selling your data on that piece. So, and with also Claude training on your data, even if you say no, and they've already been caught with a lot of these big companies. So, if you're not moving to something private, give us a call, reach out. We'd be happy to implement that for you. Not our first one, but we have a very overpowered system that you can get that you can control your data.